Welcome back to another action figure review. In this review, we're going to be taking a look at Bossfight Studios' Vitruvian H.A.C.K.S Series 2 Quell VARIS, the Elven Ranger. This action figure is done in 1/18 scale and comes in collector-friendly packaging. Let's start off by taking a look at the packaging because it has some pretty nice artwork and worth the time. So as you can see on the top left, we have the Vitruvian H.A.C.K.S logo. If you're not familiar with H.A.C.K.S, it's highly articulated character kit system. The bottom we have the Bossfight Studio logo. These are for adult collectibles. They are marketed for ages 15 and up. In the center here, we have a beautiful artwork of the figure. Below the figure, we have the Quell VARIS nameplate and the Elven Ranger plate below that. On the far right, we do have the clamshell that the figure and accessories are housed in. It looks fantastic. On the bottom and top and sides of the packaging, there's really nothing to see. But on the back, we do have a file card type printout. I will go ahead and hold this for about 5 or so seconds so you guys have the opportunity to pause if you want to read more about this Elven Ranger. So here, from the center to the far right, we have There's No Limits at the top, Collect Them All, and then we have 8 other figures offered by Bossfight Studios. There are some credits here, for example, for the card art and for the character bios. We have a QR code, we have UPC, Bossfight Studio logo here also on the back. Very nice. This is going to be one cool action figure. So let's get him out of the collector-friendly packaging and see what he's like. Removing your figure from the collector-friendly packaging is quite easy. You just pick a side, and the plastic is, you can manipulate it. And just pop your card out on the outside of the tab and pull it out on one or the other side. Here's what the artwork looks like behind the figure. Very nice. This is a great cardstock. If you don't keep the packaging, you definitely can keep the card art for the information and for the file card or bio on the back, whatever you prefer to call it. And then all you have to do is pop out your clamshell. And here he is inside the clamshell. He has another small piece of clamshell just on the back that houses some of his weapons and a baggie that you normally find under his feet, so keep an eye out for that. So I'm going to go ahead and get him out of the packaging so we can look at him. So here is VARIS freed from the clamshell of the packaging, and he looks pretty good. So let's start taking a look at that head sculpt, and let's see if we can zoom in for that. Looks like he has blue eyes, he has blonde eyebrows, and kind of a scowl on his mouth. Nicely sculpted face. Makes you want to think about Legolas from Lord of the Rings, but he's more of a wider jaw than Legolas does. He has his elven ears. His hair is shaved on the sides, and he has blonde piece hanging down on each side, and is combed back from the rest of the hair to a ponytail. Very nice sculpt work on the hair. Looks great. Now for the hair, you can actually remove the hair. So it actually makes it look like a totally different character. So you can have a bald Elven Ranger if you want. Or maybe you can paint it and customize it for a dark Elven Ranger or whatever you can come up with. But unfortunately in the back you do have a peg hole once you remove the hair. So keep that in mind. So let's go ahead and put the hair back on because it looks fantastic with it. He has a cape that comes over the front of his chest. The cape is done like a hunter green. Then we have some gold trim. It is free flowing, kind of bobs around a little bit. He has a brown I guess it's more of a robe, because it kind of goes down to his knees. And below that robe, he has like a blue undershirt. He has a very nicely sculpted, kind of like brown leather gauntlets with highly detailed design. He does have a black belt. We have some buckles painted silver, and there is some gold throughout. The cape is removable, but by simply just removing the head. And apparently the hair also, because it just fell off. He has gray pants. Then he has brown boots. Kind of looks like pirate boots. So let's go and take a 360 look at this figure. And then we'll take a look at the articulation. Alright, so let's take a look at that articulation. He does look down fantastically. Very nice. Back to center. Barely any up because of his hair hits the back piece, but if you remove it, not getting much more. So we have side to side, and that hair needs to be pushed down pretty good. And also it will rotate 360 by itself without any hair, but obviously if you do have the hair attached, you're going to be hindered because of the way the hair is sculpted. His arms are on a ball joint. They go up about this far. And it's pretty tight. So I'm going to go ahead and heat those up so we don't break it. Okay, so I had to go ahead and heat those shoulders up. They were quite stiff and felt like I was putting too much force on them. So they do rotate 360 now properly on both sides. And we have a elbow swivel 360 all the way around on both sides. He does have bendable elbows. Get you 90 degrees, no problem. For his hands, they rotate 360. And let's see what kind of joints we have. And there goes that hair again. It's like we have the up and down like this on both hands. Yep. So that's how that looks. And that's getting irritating. So we have articulation here. So we have an ab crunch, a back and forth, and then we have a side to side motion. He does have his piece, his waist part of his shirt is removable, but it will take away from the actual aesthetic of the figure. He has double jointed knees, which feel pretty stiff also. Wow. So I'm going to go ahead and heat up those knees and see what we got. Okay, so here he is. Double jointed knees. Get you about that much. And they have to be heated, at least on my sample. Not my sample, but my figure. And of course his hair fell off again. That is definitely getting quite annoying. So if you plan on leaving your figure with this head sculpt, you might want to glue that on. So for his ankles, we have 360 rotation. They do pivot down and up a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and start showing you guys some of the accessories that it comes with. So first off, he comes with a green hood. So you have to remove the hair, which seems to be no problem. But what I also noticed, you cannot put this down just over the head like this because of his ears. And the hole really is not cut out to accommodate you to slide it over. So you have to remove the head, stick the peg through, and reattach the head. So I'll go ahead and do that for you. So this is what he looks like with his hood on. It's nice how it blends in with the cape to make it look like it's actually one piece. That's cool. So it also comes with an alternate head. It's kind of like a wooden elven mask. You see, he has his ears on the side. What's interesting about this, it gives you some options. So you can make this, VARIS's masked head, or you can buy multiples of these figures and have your VARIS as your Elven Ranger, and these can be some soldiers, Elven soldiers, just by using all these different mask heads, which makes a nice option for you. So let me go ahead and put this head onto the figure, and we'll see what it looks like. So here he is with the different head sculpt. This is without the hood. So it definitely makes it look like a different character by simply changing the head, or maybe even removing the cape to give him more of a basic Elven Warrior appearance, or buying some of the customized ones to change them out. What's nice also, each head comes with its own peg, so you don't have to keep pulling this in and out. So you actually get two different pegs, which is fantastic. So let me go ahead and put the mask version on with his hood, and we'll take a look at it. Okay, here's with the hood on. See how easy it could be as some extra Elven soldiers if you want to army build them. Or it can just simply be your VARS with, his mask on. Definitely gives you some options for this figure, which is great. Alright, let's move on and look at some more of his accessories. So inside his package, he has 3 arrows inside his quiver. They are brown with green feathers. And then we have, it's not gold, it's more of a mustard color arrowheads. So you get 3 of those. And then, of course, you get the quiver. So it's done in that hunter green. And that same kind of mustard color, brown straps throughout. Have a buckle there. And you can put them in his actual quiver. Looks good. You can stagger him around, give him a nice appearance. So to put his quiver on, unfortunately, the peg is kind of short. So if you choose to want to put it on his back, it does not stay. It'll punch through the cape with the cape on and kind of stay, but it's extremely loose. It'll fall off. The peg is not long enough to get into the back of the figure. But I think a lot of options here. We have a peg hole here and a peg hole here. So you can choose to put his quiver on his skirt, on his side, or if you're choosing. Which takes a little bit of effort. It's hard to do through the camera. But it's definitely unfortunate that you can't put it on his back, at least with his hood on. So let's go and take the hood off and see what happens. So I went ahead and removed his hood and his cape. And you can see the back hole. But it does not accommodate that type of peg. So that peg is more or less going to have to be put on his sides of your choosing, which kind of is disappointing in my opinion. So his next accessory is his bow. It's just a brown bow with a darker brown handle, no string. And then after that we have a piece that you would think goes on his back. So we have a blanket rolled up, we have a grappling hook, and a type of pouch. And we have a different style peg. So that looks like it would fit more in his back. And it does. Kind of unique. But it does flop around, so it's pushed in all the way. And then it comes with a sword. Kind of a shimmering type green org blade to where it turns colors whenever an org is present. It has some silver throughout inside. It has it very nicely done. Do have a gold handle. Curved blade and some really nice sculpt work right there. Nice weapon. So taking a look at his quiver, you can stick his bow through the side here. It's quite tight. But that's what that's for. That's about all farther it goes in. And I believe that for some reason, somehow, this all gets attached to that peg right there. If you want to put this through there for some time of attachment, maybe that's why it doesn't fit in his back. But that peg doesn't fit in his back very well either. Now you're just going to add more weight to it, and it's definitely not going to stay. But that's definitely an option for you if you wanted to do that and figure out that look. So let's take a look and see what's in this baggie. It looks like we have some more arrows. Yeah. We have 3 more arrows to match the ones that we just looked at. So we have 3 of those. 3 that was in the quiver in the packaging. If we add to the quiver, we can definitely get a filled look and a staggered, pretty nice. But they definitely are not going to fit all at the same level. Looks cool. Then you get 2 replacement hands or alternate hands, gripping hands. And then we have the Bossfight Studios stand that we're used to seeing. Okay, here he is holding his sword. Holds it really nice and tight. Looks great. Can definitely get some decent poses out of this sculpt. That's a great looking sword. Looks cool. And here he is with his bow. Holds it really nice and tight, no problem. This is really cool. I'll have to keep off just so we can get a better look at the figure itself. What's interesting about this figure, like the females, they have that split between the 2 fingers, so you can put the arrow. So let's take a look and see how that looks on VARIS. As you can see, he looks fantastic with that really unique sculpted hand. Looks really great. For me, I'll probably be adding some string to my bow. Just gotta find the proper material that makes sense. Want something that's a string but a little flexible, but nothing that's going to pull on the ends of the bow to make it look offset. So let's go ahead and we'll take a look at a different pose with the bow and arrow. Okay, here's, we'll take a sideward position, like a quick draw, or maybe an elven ghetto stance, if that's a thing. Okay. Okay, let's look at some comparisons. Here he is with Koiki. Looks great. If you remove this part, he should sit perfectly fine on the mighty steed. And here he is with Aspen. Looks very nice. And here he is with Aspen's alternate head. Looks very cool. And here he is with Ayana from the Autumn branch. Very nice. Okay, so my final thoughts. Retail price, $24.99. I have to say I'm a bit disappointed. I really like the figure. Overall design and sculpt looks fantastic. The accessories are very nice, without a doubt. But the quiver and the backpack piece doesn't do what it's supposed to do. Diameter of the hole is either too big or these pegs are too small. Yeah, they do give you some options, but you don't really have much options for this. The hair falls off on mine at least a good bit, so you may have to put a bit of glue in there if you buy multiples of this figure, and I'm planning on changing out or wearing the hood. If you like the head sculpt and you're not going to use the green hood, you won't have to worry about it because you can swap the head out, but that will not be, you won't be able to use the hood if you glue the hair onto the head. So this is probably the most negatives I've had on a Vitruvian H.A.C.K.S figure, believe it or not, and I'm super surprised it's actually this one. This is kind of irritating. Also, I'm a big fan of soft goods. At a price point of $24.99, in my opinion, there's really no excuse why you can't get a piece of cloth over a piece of plastic that they have to create molds for, and then instead of just having a material-based cloth cape. So yeah, that's my opinion on this figure. Overall, I still recommend it for, but if it becomes one of these figures that are pricey, doubles in price, triples in price, it's definitely not worth it. So if you want it, you should pick it up now when it's still cheap, in a regular price, retail suggested price. But other than that, I wouldn't pay more than the $24.99 that it's worth. Well, that cost, I should say. It's not a bad figure. It's just that takes away from the overall aesthetics and your customizability. If you want to, have that quiver on the back versus on the sides, it'll work fine on the sides. But for me, I'd rather have it on the. I was hoping they would go on his back. It looks, in my opinion, a lot better than, especially if it was like this. I like that appearance better than this, because that's just going to get in the way of his arm articulation with all those arrows in there. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed this review. If you did, please consider subscribing. I really appreciate it. I wish you guys happy hunting. Have fun. Keep collecting. Comment down below. Like and share the video if you would like. So, I guess all I got for you guys today. So, please like and share and subscribe. and I will see you in our next review.